Hey everybody, Felix Staffelbaker here. Wanted to make a video because right now we see EOS in the $1 range. Never have we seen these prices since the ICO. It dipped down very close in the last bear market, but now we see with the entire crypto space, and you look at the Celsius bankruptcy, and when you see other blockchains like Solana and Avalanche and all these other just absolute garbage blockchains stopping and not being able to function, but all the people that were into Cardano and that Cardano didn't work out for them technologically wise, and then price started falling, they jump into these other things thinking they're going to be the next one. But really, it's literally the second one, like EOS after Ethereum. Ethereum paved the way and made it seem okay for a smart contract platform, and we're just playing around and trying to figure it out, and we're just a couple of young kids that are nerds and typing away and just coding all at night. And then you've got like the second one that comes up and it's just super robust, military grade, commercial grade, world grade, global grade, like hardcore working tech in EOS, and then everybody pushes that aside and ignores it. The entire public rollout, I mean, you got to think too, going back, it was just crazy. John Oliver and all the people who were talking about EOS initially, and then it just like all went dead silent. So we're seeing EOS at $1 pricing, and it's just unbelievable the amount of people who still don't realize what's going on. And right now, especially if you received a stimulus check, like in America, you had $1 at one point to be able to accumulate a whole EOS. And we're going to very rapidly see that EOS, one whole EOS will be something that people will be trying to accumulate. They'll be wanting to get a whole EOS. That may not be something that everyone is able to achieve. And that might sound weird, especially being around $1, and especially if you're new to EOS or maybe around a while and nothing's happened, you just don't understand why. Well, at some point, people who are trying to get whole EOS will just not be able to, because all the money printing that's happened, if you look back since the inception of the United States, since our first president, from that time until 2020, all the money that was printed doesn't even compare to the last 2 years. We've printed many, many times more than that entire past full existence of the United States. And if you start to understand that, you can start to see that that's why assets went up like crazy. That's why the housing market got inflated. That's why collectibles got inflated, cars, everything went up. And in not just a little bit, people who bought a watch 5 years ago were able to sell it for a yearly salary. Just ridiculous amounts of stuff. And that's all due to money printing. And the idea that a brand new asset like EOS that is going to span the globe and be ubiquitous across every transaction that humans partake in, why would the price not reflect that as well? Think about that. At some point, the price of inflation, the price of this money printing, the price of everything going into this mix, and then you've got geopolitical tensions, wars, famines, pestilence, disease, viruses, pandemics, money printing, government crackdowns, lockdowns, supply chain issues, parts issues, and then that's just on a grand scale. Then you've got everything going on in people's personal lives, and all of this contributes into a huge mixture that goes into what an asset is worth and why, and what someone's willing to pay for it. And when you see all of that happening and coming together in the perfect storm, EOS is sitting there like this, just being ready to be taken, and people are not taking advantage of it. They're not using the opportunity they've been given to accumulate as much as possible before that price happens. And think about it in a lot, like the same way gas prices went up. If people were mind blown how fast prices could go up, think about it. If gas prices are going up like that, if food prices are going up like that, if everything is going up, when EOS goes up, and it will, it's going to be an absolute whip. It's going to be an absolute rocket. It's going to just whiplash so hard that you won't even be able to have the time to accumulate a whole one. So while you're sitting on the sideline with your dollar, maybe you're buying just anything. I mean, you could literally afford to save 1 penny every day. After 100 days, you'd have $1, buy a whole EOS, and then you'd be good. But people can't even think like that. They're not even able to think multiple steps ahead because they're being bombarded with so much stuff at one time, and trying to decipher what's real and believe what, and this person's telling you this, and if you don't believe them, you're bad, and like all that kind of crazy stuff that goes on. And it's like, if you just understood how cheap EOS was, how it's not being reflected in the entire reality, like reality is not reflecting EOS at all, because it's just $1. And so just be thankful that you can keep buying at $1, because when it's at $1,000, you know, if you had $100 that you were gonna go to the movies and dinner, and you decided to put that into EOS instead, at $1,000 you got 100 grand. You know, loaves of bread will be $15, but you'll be able to eat. And you know, the next person might be struggling and have nothing, you know. So that's how it's going to be. The World Economic Forum, who's introducing all this, told us we will have nothing, we'll be happy, they'll own everything, you're going to only eat bugs, no air conditioning, you have to pay a bunch of carbon tax, like the works, all the good stuff. And then people are like, well, I'm not going to buy EOS or Bitcoin because the government loves me, they're trying to help me, they're really like taking full responsibility and, you know, for my health and just making sure I'm safe, and I love them. And you know, that's a very tough position for a lot of people to take, and they're just doing it so willingly. So those people will miss out on EOS, but you have to literally take advantage of it for it to benefit you. So I just want to put that out there. People aren't seeing this for what it is, and they're not taking advantage of what it is, and yeah, they're just going to miss out. But we've been talking about it for years. Stoffel Baker out.